Tax deed sales, how do they work? And this is really important because this, in the title world, we don't like insuring tax deed sales, and you'll see why in a minute. There's a lot of notice that has to be given, and it's really hard to find out if people were given proper notice. So at least 20 days before the tax deed sale, the tax collector must send the property owner a notice by certified mail. Here you go. You know, they ask for return receipt or signed return receipt. Nobody ever does that though. So how do we know they got notice, right? The county sheriff also has to personally serve the legal title holder or property owner notice, and if they're not home or not available, they have to post it conspicuously on somewhere on the property. And that's where how do we know that they actually, if they weren't personally served, we'll know that because the sheriff's going to have the information. But if it's posted on the property, how do we know we saw it? Code enforcement officers put, notices on people's houses. Other people rip them off, all kinds of crazy stuff. You never know until a lien happens. The notice also has to be published in a newspaper, or if no newspaper available, posted publicly. You'll see them in like the Sunday paper. If you get the Sunday paper, they'll have all the legal notices. They're also at they'll be at the county courthouse or the tax collector's website. So that's fine with that posting. So tax collector is out of it now. This goes through the court. So the clerk of the circuit court is conducting the tax deed sale, much like a foreclosure sale. It's also at a public auction. This time the property is sold to the highest bidder. So remember, the tax certificate sale was the lowest bidder on the interest. This, we're looking for the highest bidder on the property. The tax certificate holder starts the bidding with the amount of the debt owed to him or her. And if no one else bids, the tax certificate gets the home. Tax certificate holder does not necessarily end up with the property. They may not be the highest bidder. Highest bidder will become the owner of the property. But sometimes you buy tax certificates and you start the tax deed application, you start the bidding, people bid higher than you because you just wanted that tax certificate and you don't want the actual house. And there's investors that look to buy the actual house. So just to go through the whole process again before we talk about priority and all that good stuff. January 1st, your taxes become a lien on the property, even though we don't know what you have to pay that year because we pay in arrears in the state of Florida. November 1st, you'll get your tax bill. March 31st of 2021 is going to be your last day to pay it. April 1st, you become automatically delinquent. 3% penalty automatically applied. By June 1st, the tax collector is going to sell that 2020 delinquency to a third party at a tax certificate sale for the lowest bid on the interest. That tax certificate holder then has 2 to 7 years to file that tax deed application. Tax deed application takes 3 to 6 months. And all it means is once that tax deed application gets the ball rolling, it means you as a homeowner can lose your property tax deed sale. You still have time to redeem the property up to the day of sale, but now you're paying for all your taxes at that point.